Hi guys, welcome to today's video. We are currently in Brighton, which is on the south coast. I just saw a light in the distance then. It might be like an alien. This is the West Pier, I believe. There is actually a pier out there somewhere, but during the 70s it fell into disrepair, and this is the last remnants of what's left. It's a fantastic looking shot. I'm shooting the GFX today again, just to test out the sensor and see what it can do with this bright white scene. I'm just about to set up the scene in front of me. I want to shoot, I always get a base rate around f8, so I type in f8 into my trusty little light meter. I'm shooting at 100 ISO. I take an ambient light meter reading. Okay, so now we've typed in 160 of a second. That will change throughout the day, as obviously the sun will come out more, obviously the fog will start to lift, so that's going to constantly change. So that's the one variable that will constantly change. I need to now build up my filters and what I need to work out to use for this current scene. So I'm using the Lee foundation kit at the front, attached to my 32-64 lens. I'm zoomed out at 64 currently. So as I said, I've already taken the ambient meter reading. I will put that into memory, and that's going to be my mid. We now switch over to the spot meter. So now we need to look at the brightest thing in the distance, which is obviously going to be the sky or the fog. So I have a look through my meter, and that's coming out at 640th of a second. So I type that into my memory. I now know that that's well within, actually, I've probably got about another stop of light for this sensor to see before it actually gets blown out. So I know that this Fujifilm GFX sensor can actually expose for that highlight at its current settings without blowing out, because my meter told me that. So I trust the meter, this, more than I trust the camera, because the camera, as I said before in episode 4, the camera is always going to be trying to find 18% middle grey. The camera doesn't care about the scene. The camera just cares about 18% middle grey. There's not actually that much data in the shadow in this scene, so it is mainly a bright white scene. God, it's freaking cold. So let's work out what filters we need to use for this current scene. I'm still on the spot meter. Let's turn that round. Let's look at the sky. So we know the sky is coming out at 800. So again, the scene is constantly changing. As we get later and later in the day, it's now 800ths of a second. Okay, so I currently know the sky and the fog is at 800ths of a second at f8. Then take another meter reading of the darks, and it's coming out at minus 2.2. There's a difference of 2 stops. So there is a difference of 2 stops between the sky and the posts. Alright, so I've just picked up this Lee filter. Whenever I get a new filter, I like to test it. This is meant to be a 0.6, so 2 stops of light. So this is what the light meter is great to use for, with the 1 degree spot meter. So I can take anywhere, just take a spot meter reading of the ground, and then pick up my filter. This is obviously a soft grad, so it's going to be gradual. I go right to the edge, take another meter reading. It's coming out at 100. And it's coming out at two stops at the edge. 2 stops to 0 gradient filter. So I know I need to use that. So I can slip that now into the front of my filter system. This is just to hold back the sky a little bit. And I'll slide that down, put it into live view. Put it into live view, slide it down till you see where you think that you want to use it. Somebody did actually ask me yesterday in one of the comments what tripod am I using. This is the Really Right Stuff TVC 33 with the BH, I think it's the 55 head on top. So that's the current tripod I'm using right now. It's perfect for landscape. It does come up when it's fully extended up to about this high. So I've not had any issues with it. I've had it for now 2-3 years. I would actually like to get the small travel one. Really Right Stuff do a small travel one that extends out to about this kind of high. But I actually might, instead of ordering it, I might actually go to the shop. I would like to actually really go to the shop. So that might be a future video where I actually go to Really Right Stuff to the shop and actually see what it's like there, because they don't actually stock anywhere in the UK. Let's take this first image now. Camera's gone to sleep. It's turning back on. All right, so let's take this first one. Good. While I'm here, I might as well gather that data. If I do a pano, I do a pano. If I don't do a pano, I've still got that single shot. So let's do this, set this pano up. Take that one. and then move a couple of little notches. Take that one. So I've just reviewed some of the images on the back of the camera. I'm not too keen on how sharp it's looking, the waves. I want to try and add a bit of motion to the water. So I'm not going to use a big stopper. I'm not going to use even the little stopper. I've actually got a 1.2, which I'm now going to insert. And obviously, because it's 4 stops, I've got to allow for that in my shutter. So you would then go down 3, 6, 9, 12. 12 clicks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That will allow now for this filter to be inserted. So this is going to add motion, a little bit of motion to the water, not too crazy, just enough to take that edge off. I do like the big stopper and the little stopper. I've even got the super stopper, but sometimes they are a bit extreme. You've got to wait like 15 minutes for one exposure. This is just 4 stops, so it just gives me enough, not too much, just enough. So let's now take another exposure. And I'll probably put the photo up on the screen. So yesterday I had a message on YouTube regarding what settings I was using in Box Hill. I do tend to say what settings I'm using in the video and while I'm doing it, but if you were to come to Brighton tomorrow or anywhere in the world, the settings that you'll be using will be completely different to what I'm using right now, because the light falling on this scene, exposing this scene, will be completely different to tomorrow. So I could say to you, okay, come here tomorrow, f8, shoot 60th of a second at 100 ISO, but the light falling on here tomorrow morning will be completely different. So you're going to get a different exposure. You could come to the same scene, shooting the same image as me, and get a completely different exposure. So don't get too hung up on what settings you're using, what's this, what's this, what's this. Just read the light. Ideally, get a light meter, and it will tell you the ambient light falling on that scene. That then gives you a base. You then type that into your camera, and then you've got creativity left and right of that. So that's it for today then, guys. Thank you for watching. If you liked today's video, then click that subscribe button. Any questions, just drop them in the comments below or message me. Next week, we're at the TPS show in NEC Birmingham, which is the photography show. It's one of the largest photography shows in the UK. So make sure you check that out. We'll be bringing all the video gear along with us and just going around all the stalls, the Hasselblad, the Fujifilm, the Canon, the Nikon, all of the stalls, and seeing what's new and what's hot. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Peace.